All right, fourth grade, for today's lesson, we are going to practice author's perspective. We just did this a couple weeks ago. Before we do that, math vocabulary really quickly. As a reminder in division, the bigger number, the number that is going to be divided in a division number sentence, is called the dividend here. Okay, so in this sentence here, 100 divided by 25 equals 4. 100 is the dividend. And then the number that tells us how many groups it's going to be divided into, or how many things are going to be in each group, that's the divisor. Okay, and then the answer, that is called the quotient. So if I have the divisor 200 and the divisor 50, what would the quotient be? Take more time if you need it, but the quotient would be 4. Okay, so now onto author's viewpoint. Remember, we talked about this, and basically, what it's important for you to understand is that authors are just like any other human being, and they have thoughts and feelings about different topics. So while we're reading a nonfiction article, you may be able to pick up some clues on how the author feels about that topic. My example to you is broccoli cupcakes. One author may talk about how delicious they are, while another author may talk about how disgusting they are. And so it's our job as readers to be able to pick up on those clues to understand how the author feels about what they're writing about. We're going to read Unschooling, and we're going to do just that. Some parents believe unschooling is the best way for children to learn. In the United States and Canada, 10 to 15% of children who learn at home are unschooled. Unschooling is a growing trend in almost every country around the world. So what is unschooling? So it's a trend. We know it's pretty popular right now. Unschooling is different from homeschooling, where parents teach their children at home. Homeschooled children study the same subjects that students learn in a formal school. Okay, so we know that that's a regular school with customs and rules. Parents follow state's rules on teaching and testing. Unschooling parents, however, do not follow any rules or use school lessons, homework, or testing. Unschooling is built on the idea that children are full of wonder and are eager to learn. They learn best when they choose subjects that interest them. Parents become guides who help them find information and materials they need to learn. Homes, museums, parks, and farms provide learning opportunities and give children the chance to experience the real world. Here's a picture, and it says, in California, an unschooler checks on his animals on a typical school day. Some advantages of unschooling are that children follow their interests and learn at their own pace. They don't have to worry about test grades or how they are doing compared with other students. They also don't need to be troubled about fitting in at school or being bullied. Unschooling benefits children when parents understand how to help them. Parents need time, energy, and money to support learning. If parents don't know what to do or have jobs that take up their time, children might learn very little. Even with the best help, children could still miss subjects they need to enter college. Also, if they don't get to be with other children, they can become lonely. They may not have as many chances to learn how to work and play with others. Formal schooling and unschooling each have benefits and disadvantages. Going to school is a good way to make friends and learn to get along with others. When children work together on projects, they also learn from each other. Unschooling allows children to be creative and find their own path of study. You can go ahead and take a look at this graph here for a second. It talks about in 2013, a survey of unschoolers showed that most went on to college and found creative jobs. And then over here, we have a text box, and it says, unschoolers read books like regular students, but they also learn to read in creative ways. Some things they read are billboards, cereal boxes, comic books, maps, menus, postcards, street signs, and text messages. So now I want you to think about, what is the author's viewpoint of unschooling? Take your time if you need it, but in the article, it talked about how the author's viewpoint of unschooling is that it has advantages and it has disadvantages. If we're looking for the text evidence for that, we can look right here where it says, formal schooling and unschooling each have benefits and disadvantages. So this article is a great example of how an author may talk about how there are both advantages and disadvantages to a certain topic, and may not just say that it's all positive or all negative. So that's something to look for in the future. All right, you're going to do the same thing in Seesaw this week.